Hi there, welcome back to the archives. I gotta hurry because my headset is gonna die. So, like I said, right now we're talking about Melanin Magic, a young mystic's guide to African spirituality by Dosevia Trenu, illustrated by Katmuse James. Katmuse James. And so, we're getting into part where they're talking about how the Orishas are also associated with the solar system, right? Um, So Obatala is associated with the sun, like I said. Um, and uh, Obatala's day of the week is Sunday, which literally means sun's day. Um, Obatala's wife is Yemoja, the empress of the sea. Obatala has several children. And the important part here is Obatala has male and female body parts, right? Obatala is gender fluid. So when they talk about like there's only one or two, like in the Nigerian in the or Yoruba um, cosmology, Obatala is gender fluid. They have both female and male body parts, both feminine and masculine energy, right? Already the Christians are like, clutching their pearls. Um, the offerings they like to keep it simple, white, bland, easy to make meals, rice or bread are good offerings, so is yam or eggs, coconut, lighting a white candle with supervision, of course. White is Obatala's favorite color. Next is Yemoja, which is associated with the moon, the luminary of emotions. Um, and so, again, she's your Orisha of the seas and the ocean and the moon, the mother of all, Mother Earth. She's also known as the mother whose children are like fish. Yemoja represents the power of the ocean's tide and your internal navigation system, so your intuition, which is why the moon is associated with our intuition. Um, the Yoruba people celebrate Yemoja during a 17-day festival in October. So we're in October now, so they're going to be celebrating her. It's called Odun Yemoja. Yemoya? Is the J pronounced or no? Many people all over the world uh, celebrate her. Cuba, Brazil, Eastern Europe. Um, she looks out for children and the youth. A lot of parents pray to her to ask for protection for their homes and their families, it says. Um, yeah, so next is Ishu, which is associated with Mercury, the planet of communication. And so issue is a Orisha of communication in the marketplace and crossroads, like I said. So sometimes you'll see in like Brazil or in Nigeria at crossroads, they have um, uh, s- rituals set up for issue. Shrines. They say ritual shrines that honor issue at crossroads. So you pray for them to open doors or to close doors. Um, They're the divine messenger. They have an ability to transform bad luck into good, but this only happens when they want. And so you have to, if you're in trouble, you can go to Ishu. We also have Oshun, which is associated with Venus, the planet of love. And so Oshun, remember, is the deity associated with rivers, love, children, and joy and beauty, pleasurable delights such as sweet taste of honey, beautiful reflections when you see yourself in the mirror, dancing to beautiful music. Oshun is all about pleasure and just goodness, right? Um, Osogbo, there's a sacred grove in Oshun State, Nigeria, which is about 3 hours away from Lagos, that's dedicated to her. She loves offerings of honey and sunflowers and fruits and spoons and music. Um, Her day, I believe, is Monday. A lot of their days were Monday, which just tickled me because my name is Ajwa, which is associated with Monday born. It means I was born on Monday. So Mondays are for Ajwa. Ajwane Kojo. Yeah, so next we have Ogun, who's associated with Mars, the planet of war. Um, or Ogun is associated with iron and action and passion. They're one of the first Orishas to come to Earth. Um, some view them as the Orisha of war, but they don't always like to fight, is what it says here. Um, Ogun will help protect you from danger. So I think of Ogun kind of like Archangel Michael, right? I usually pray to Archangel Michael to help defend me in battle, and so maybe you might want to also reach out to Ogun, for instance. Um, yeah, it says many people fear me, Ogun, but that's because Ogun is misunderstood. You usually see an Ogun with a sword or a machete as a shield that they carry. Call Ogun whenever you need strength getting through a difficult situation. They'll provide you strength both in body and in your spirit. They are warrior training warriors. Um, so that's Mars. Then we have Orunmila, which is associated with Jupiter. I didn't know this, but Jupiter is a planet of luck. And so Orunmila is the Orisha associated with wisdom and blessings. Um, Animals that are connected with them are leopards and parrots, chameleon and the iguana. You can make offerings of yams, cakes, nuts, cocoa. Um, you can call on them when you want to get better at listening to your ori or your inner voice or your intuition, right? Obaluaye is associated with Saturn, the planet of responsibility. And so this Orisha is all about wisdom and wellness and healing, disease. Um, they help you to grow through challenges and to help you view them through the normal parts of life. When things get tough, you can definitely turn to Obaluaye. Am I pronouncing it right? We have Shango and Oya. They joint representations of Uranus, the planet of revolution. So I believe Aquarius are connected with Uranus. Some people pronounce it differently. I've seen different pronunciations. So that's Shango and Oya. And so that those are the Orishas of lightning and thunder and the weather. They represent revolution that exists around and within us. They represent the challenging tides, the mysteries of nature. So the two of them are married. Um, Shango's day is Friday. Oya's day is Wednesday. We have Olokun, which is associated with Neptune. Neptune is a planet of fantasy, illusion, and dreams. And so Olokun is the Orisha of dreams and the deep seas. You'll find them in the dreaming world, in the waking world. They assist to help make your dreams come true. Fishermen and women pray to Olokun, especially when they're at sea. They're also, I believe, low-key like a mermaid too. They can show up. Olokun also shows up as a gender fluid, either as a female or male or androgynous. Androgynous means having physical traits of both male and female. So they feel most at home in the deepest part of the ocean. That's where they feel most safe. They're usually represented as half fish, half human. People sometimes fear and respect them because they could turn the ocean's tides against people in the bat of an eye. Oya alone is associated with Pluto. Pluto in these systems are still seen as a planet. Pluto is no longer seen as a planet. in Western the world. So Oya is associated with Pluto, which is a planet of transformation and the afterlife. It's 5 o'clock. I gotta get going. Um, so we already touched on Oya. Remember, Oya is lightning, winds, thunderstorms, waterfalls, a forest. Um, Oya is a keeper of secrets, surrounded by mystery, the changing weather. Her sister is Yemoja with yeah, so this is some of the things that I learned from reading this is I never knew that the chakras system was dates also back to the Orishas. I didn't also know about the solar system was also connected to the Orishas. Did you? So are the if for those who follow um, Kemet, Kemetic schools, they also have origins, right? So other Kemetic, it goes into other Kemetic gods. Isis, for instance, which is a goddess of healing, magic, and so, yep. I think I'm gonna do one more because I want to go into the trees. It talks about the trees. I have to get going though, so I might come back and do that. Maybe could I do it now? Basically, just like I said with braiding sweetgrass, right? Just like with the indigenous cultures here, just a reverence for nature and trees. Um, and how they are kin, they are relatives. And it just talks about basically some of the ways in which we can turn to our tree relatives for help, how they hold memory, how nature holds memory, the land and the water. Um, the organisms live and breathe much like we do. And so just don't forget about nature and the wildlife, right? To me, that is where God resides. Um, It talks about ginger, some of the different plant medicines that are really good for us. So, like ginger and hibiscus. I've been drinking a lot of hibiscus lately, hibiscus tea or hibiscus in my water. Chamomile talks about lavender and rosemary and turmeric, and it shares the benefits of it. I did a turmeric face mask a couple weeks ago for my skin. So yeah, this is it talks about cycles of grief, right? Which again it differs from Christianity, for instance, which says like once you're done, you're done. You go to heaven or hell. Here it says, where is it here? Some people refer to this as death, but for many of us, we feel that when somebody passes, they're not fully dead. Their energy has transformed from the physical form, but spiritually they're still with us, right? Um, and so, again, some people view it differently, right? Some people view in reincarnation, others don't. Some people believe in purgatory, others don't. Um, I was having this conversation yesterday. If based on Christian teachings, if there's heaven and hell, I hate to break it to a lot of people, but like the way a lot of us are living, we're not making it to heaven. But we all swear, everybody swears they're going to heaven, right? You tell someone they're going to hell, they get offended, but then they'll tell you you're going to hell, and that's normal. So, again, some of these indigenous cultures view things a little bit differently, but because Christianity has been associated more with Western imperialism, it is just like white supremacy, it is the one that trumps, and so that's what a lot of people believe that worldview, right? These worldviews are kind of seen as not right or demonic or bad or secondary, not real, which a lot of it is just anti-blackness. It's just an anti-African. It's just we don't want anything to do with Africans, which is also ironic because, again, like I was talking, anyways, Christianity, a lot of Bible stories are rooted in places like Syria and Palestine and Egypt, right? Ethiopia. Um, so it's just interesting that a whole bunch of I was watching Marc Lamont Hill today on Al Jazeera talking with a professor, a religious scholar on Christian nationalism, and they were explaining what Christian nationalism is, the rise in Christian nationalism, the origins of it, when it started, why it's being associated with this particular administration, and they said pay attention because Christian nationalists almost never talk about Jesus. It's usually God. And it's usually about prosperity, right? Which is often associated with capitalism. And So, yeah, this is what I was reading. I had to finish this today because I got to go return it, but I just wanted to share some of these with you. Um, Goes into language and other stuff as well too. So again, if you're looking to introduce African spirituality to the young people in your life, if you aren't a white supremacist and you don't think that it's bad, if you haven't bought into that white supremacist idea that African spirituality is demonic, then maybe you might want to share this as a gift with somebody, a young reader in your life who might enjoy this. But I learned a lot for sure, even as an adult, right? I learned a lot. Um, so, yeah, until next time, in solidarity.